Hello, it's Megalithic here, and today we're putting out a video on hints and tips on how to play as a melee-only player in Warzone. Now, a couple of disclaimers before we start. Disclaimer number one, I'm not very good as a melee-only player. I only qualify as what you can say below average. And disclaimer number two, what little I do know about melee-only play, I picked up off TKO or These Knives Only. So if you want to watch someone who really does know what they do in melee only, get some more tips from him or better tips, that's These Knives Only or TKO. That's the one you're going to be watching. Anyway, for what little it's worth, we're going to go through what I can offer you today. So the first thing we're going to do is go to the loadout, of course. Now you just go to a loadout, pick one that you can use, and starting with the first one, go for the riot shield, not the combat shield. Don't go for the Vanguard combat shield. Do go for the Modern Warfare riot shield. The combat shield won't cover your head, whereas the riot shield at least should if you're crouching. Okay, so yeah, there we go. Now number two, you just go for yourself whatever weapon you want. You got all sorts you can unlock there as long as you go. A knife will do you, it's as simple as that, or you can go for something a bit more fancy if you want. Okay, so perks are relatively important. The first perk, you've got an option. You can either go with EOD, which is what I choose, or you can go with double time, and double time will obviously make you go a bit quicker. EOD reduces explosive damage. You can go for whatever you feel there. Perk number two, though, that's a lot more important really to get right, and you're going to want to stick on restock, and you're not going to want to stray from that. Restock will allow your stun grenades and your knives, more stun grenades is important, to restock over time. And shrapnel is your third perk, and again, don't stray off that, so I'd be running with shrapnel and restock for a definite. You can either choose EOD or double time. The lethal, you can go for your throwing knife there. You can go for thermite. That's apparently a legitimate tactic. I think it's cheating, or you can go for any of the other knives that you want. Like I say, thermite is legit apparently, but I don't think so. I think it's cheating. Anyway, so yeah, I just go for standard throwing knives because the least you can carry, and then for your tactical, go for your stun grenade. Don't go for a flash grenade. Go for your stun grenade. It's going to serve you much better. Okay, well there we go. That's pretty much it. That's your setup from sort of top to bottom, and there we go. That's pretty much it. So we're gonna get into it first, and lesson number one is basically movement. Okay, lesson number one's a very easy lesson. When you finally get your loadout in, do move around with your shield up at all times. Whatever you do, don't go running about with your melee weapon on show like that. Do move about with your shield up. If you run about with your melee weapon out instead of your shield, this is liable. Ah, shit. Okay. Okay, so when it comes to defending, basically you need to keep that little white dot in the center of the screen on the opponent. I know that sounds overly simplified, but the simple truth is that's all there is to it. Now you got to remember that if you stood up, they can shoot your feet, so you do need to keep squatted down. And if they've got an angle on you from above, then they can take you down that way. They can also get you at the side at any time. Now, whenever you throw something like I have just done there, you're left open, and they can hit you as well. And yeah, here we go. We're going to throw something else, and that leaves us open, and I'm going to throw a stun, and that leaves me open as well. But it does work out, and the whole idea basically is to get round behind them as best you can, and like I say, take them down. Now there are a couple of basic mistakes that you can make. The first one is pushing directly at them. You need to come in a sort of half circle, which we'll cover later, and I'm about to make the mistake there, and there we go, we get taken down. Now I made two mistakes really. The one is I pushed directly at them. Like I say, you have to push around in a sort of semicircle towards them, and the second is I throw that stun, and like I say, it leaves me open. Now I've just pushed forward there, as you've seen, and that's where he's taking me down. The moment I go to throw the second stun, the shield's down, and he's taking me down. The same kind of thing happens here basically. He's out there, and so I throw the first stun, and this is sort of more not paying attention to what's going on with your armor situation as well. I'm sort of doing okay, and then yeah, he takes me down. So what goes on there is I throw the stun. He's already got a few bits of armor off me. I get the stun in, and I push in thinking I'm okay, but he cracks me again, and I haven't paid sort of attention to the armor there. I put the shield back up, which is obviously the sensible thing to do, but he does sort of clip me a little bit, and I go for the stun, and all he has to do is finish me off. So do watch out for those stuns and get them from the angles. Now every so often you do come across, talking about being sort of had from an angle, a slippery little customer like this. Now they're very rare, but every so often you get someone who knows what they're doing, and this is how to deal with a melee player, a shield player. You got to keep moving. and that's what he's going to keep doing. He's going to keep trying to get any angle that he can on me and keep clipping me from the sides, and you can see he's doing rather a good job of it there. But if you just sort of keep trying to keep track of him, you know, you'll be okay. Okay, attacking's equally simple. You need to get a stun grenade in their vicinity and then circle round behind them and take them down like that. Now, it is important that you don't push straight at them, or like I say, you've got to sort of come in this semicircle. Now, you can also use cover to your advantage, as I'm about to do here, using the tent there, and then sort of keeping the shield up and going around and getting them like that. Okay, once again using cover to your advantage, trying to just to keep the shield up, and then we're going to break right and then just come round behind them. It's as simple as that. You can't push straight at them. You have got to sort of break into a wide semicircle. You can do it indoors as well, but you have to keep that shield up for a little bit longer, as we're going to see here. And there we go. Okay. Now the other sort of way to go about things is this 2 stun technique. When you're out in the open, use 1 stun to close the distance, as I've just got in there, and I'm going to push around, and then we drop another stun to actually move in for the final kill. He's also sort of turned, and that makes it a lot easier for us. And that technique can also be used indoors. So here we go, we've got a chap down there, and we're going to use the first stun just to sort of close the distance a little bit, and then when we get a little bit closer, we're going to drop a second one just to keep them in place, and we're going to push round. So you can sort of, you know, do it 1 or 2 stun techniques if they're very close, just the 1. If they're a bit further away, use the 1 stun to close the distance, but do keep that shield up all the time. And who knows, if you play your cards right, maybe you can get yourself a melee-only Warzone victory just like that. Of course, this is far more likely to happen. What the fuck? What the fucking hell? That was fucking one of them games.